we'll go ahead and get started. I know it's 7:05 now, so I'll jump into everything. Obviously, as you guys know, today's training is basically turning customers into subscribers, right? And to be honest, I don't even really like the word customers per se. All right. Makes it sound a little bit more transactional, to be honest. But customers seem to rhyme a little bit better with subscribers than clients. So that's where we're going with today. But obviously, I'm sure you guys get the point, right? So the reason why we talk about turning customers into clients, once again, as I have a lot of clients already from solar, this is not a solar specific conversation, right? So obviously, as you guys know, and as you're hearing, we're having more and more, products and services that we're adding to what we're doing. So whether this is a solar client you're dealing with, water filtration client, home security client, or any of the other products and services that we may offer in the future. Obviously, as you guys probably already know, it's going to be somewhat of the same process probably that we already have, right? There's going to be a mentor, and there's going to be a transaction as far as the deal being closed. So this is somewhat of just a five-step process that we have in place, I should say, or five bullet points that I'll touch on and discuss as far as how to really turn those clients into subscribers, and building partners with you, right? So the first step, and this is how I usually always do things, not really a lot of slides or anything, but it's just going to be bullet points, right? So you could jot down notes if you can. But the first step is just giving a no pressure process, right? And the reason why we say no pressure process, this is literally from the start. So with all of these clients, even when you're launching your business, you have to, the scripts that we use and things of that nature, and you want to call people, right? Let's just talk about products specifically now. You want to call people and it not be a pressurized situation, right? So as some of us or we all may know in sales, if you call people and the client feels pressurized to either jump on a call, jump on a Zoom, or to buy your product or your service, chances are they may be thrown off because of that, right? They may not have the best feeling of that. And as we're talking about turning these clients into um, business partners with us, most people, as you go through the process with them, you want the process to be as smooth and as simple as possible. All right. Because the smoother it is for them, the easier it'll be for you to turn them into a business partner later on down the line. Right. If they see the process as being hard, complicated, overly pressured, or anything of that nature, once again, as far as transitioning them into a business partner is going to be rough, right? So once again, no pressure process, right? So that's the first step. Second step is focusing on giving them value instead of making a sale, right? I can't afford it, and I do it. And can I do it? I cannot afford it, and can I do it? So explain that though, I'm sorry. Oh, you said, can I afford it and can I do it? Yes. I'm sorry. Let me touch on that. So yeah, that was a real good point. This is what most people are thinking about as they're sitting down with you as a client, right? So yes, can I afford it and can I actually do this? Right? The first question, as they'll put it, is once again, can I actually afford this? Right? So this is why we have the process, and in every situation, the mentor, whether it's solar, water, or security, obviously it breaks down the real value of that service and that product, whether it's on a month-to-month basis, a day-to-day basis. Some people may use the term, let's say for water, right? It's people you can break that down to say something as lesser, not as much of a bottle of water per day, as an example, or less than a cup of coffee per day, right? Obviously, that gives the value and it explains, okay, why this would be better than what you're already currently doing, right? So once again, just giving that value is important, but focusing on value instead of making a sale. So if you're speaking to a family member, a friend, or a neighbor, a cold market person, warm market person, whoever it may be, if they feel like this is just a transaction, then the reality is first they may not buy from you, right? They might, but they may not, right? It's 50-50 there. But definitely if they feel like it's just a transaction and it's not real value being given, then they definitely won't have any interest in doing what you're doing as well. Now, there's a very specific reason why I talk about this, right? Because I'm sure we've all experienced being on the phone with a salesperson who has only been talking from a transactional point of view, right? And obviously, if you feel that, well, your client feels that as well. And if it's just transactional, then chances are they're not going to want to offer this to any of their family members, friends, and families. So just to break this down, I always present, and some of you may heard this before, but whether a client qualifies for specifically in my situation, solar, right, or not, I would still always sit down with them and have the consultation. Now, some people may say, well, why would you do that? That's a waste of time. Well, once again, if my focus is on giving value and not making a transaction, I should say, then I'm always going to have that consultation because I'm giving value to that homeowner, not necessarily for them. It could be for the family, friends, and neighbors that they know, right? And this is where the referrals and other aspects of this comes into play, right? But once again, you have to focus on giving value, right? So that's important. And the reality is, as we move into different tiers of doing the business, some people may be mentors right now. Some people may be mentees that are on their way to mentors, or you could be a level two where you could actually close deals on your own as well, right? You want to kind of like, take advantage of that. You want to have that mindset as you're going to a deal as well, right? Not selling, right? But consulting. And that's actually the next step, right? As you're giving value, you don't want to sell, you want to consult. So as I just mentioned, every time I sit with a client, and you can determine whether a home, now I'm talking about solar specifically, right? But you can determine whether a homeowner qualifies for solar or not upfront, right? Just to give you an example, I had a client the other day. They had a very, a lot of shade, right? A lot of trees surrounding their whole property. So the reality is that their house didn't qualify. And I kind of knew that up front anyway, right? However, we had the consultation anyway. I tried to, and I want to have the consultation to make sure that the trees are still there, right? Whenever we look at a property, obviously you see the satellite image, but you don't know if the satellite image is actually the real situation. So this is why you have the consultation to ask. As we had the consultation, all of the trees were still there, but the point was that I gave the homeowner value. And after the consultation, he actually gave us 6 referrals. Now, the purpose of that was because now he knew exactly how solar worked for himself, even though he couldn't take advantage of it, but he could still refer his family and friends. And that's the whole purpose, right? So once again, consult, don't necessarily sell. Now, if you do these 3 things that I just mentioned first, right, and it's important to, as I mentioned, if you're in a position to sell yourself, then it's important for you to do this. But if you are not, then it's important to be with a mentor or a specialist that can, right? And here's why. Because once you make that transaction, sorry, once you have that consultation, and you're towards the end of the consultation, right? Now, if it's my client, I would ask them for referrals, right? But if it's a mentee's client, I wouldn't necessarily ask. I leave that in the hands of the mentee, right? I can mention it, but I would rather leave that in the hands of the mentee so those referrals can go directly to the mentee, right? But you can ask for referrals. Now, the biggest reason of why someone would give referrals to you is if they went through the process themselves, they didn't feel any pressure, and they felt like they left the situation being educated instead of being sold to, right? Because now it's like, okay, you just brought some value to my life. You explained how solar worked. You explained how water worked. You explained how Ripple worked, right? You explain how this was different than that, right? And you explain how and why it was so much better than the previous situation as well, right? Now, when you ask for referrals, there's a few things that I do when I ask for referrals. Um, and you guys can adopt this if it makes sense for you as well. But obviously, we have an affiliate program. And as you guys know, the affiliate program, some people, we have the affiliate program, and you get paid with 500 to 1,000 on the back end. So that's great. Uh, you'll be in certain situations where someone might have referrals for you, but they won't necessarily give it to you up front, right? They'll kind of sit on it, right? So there's no incentive per se for someone to just give you referrals. So usually sometimes what I do is I'll give someone $10 per referral, right? They give me 5 referrals, I give them $50, right? $10 per referral, something simple, right? Now, why is that? It's just a motivator for them to give me the referrals today, right? Instead of forgetting about it, instead of not doing it, instead of saying I'll give it to you later on, it's just a motivator to get it done today. Think about this. If you 5 referrals for solar, 5 referrals for water, 5 referrals for home security, right? If somebody gave you 5 referrals for each of these 3 products or one of these 3 products each, right? If you close a Ripple deal or a home security deal, would that $50 be worth it? Yes. Right? If you close one of the water deals, right? No matter what product you sold, would the $50 be worth it? Yes. Right? If you close one of the 5 solar deals, would the $50 be worth it? Of course. Right? So this is why I'm saying like it might be possibly worth it to, put that out if to get those referrals immediately. Now, here's another reason, right? You can actually pay for those referrals. Obviously, you'll get them immediately, but now with the referrals, you can now actually use these referrals as leverage, right? Now you can say, hey, thank you for the 5 referrals. I thank you for the 5, thank you for the 10 referrals. I notice you know a few people that could benefit from solar. I notice you know a few people that could benefit from water. I notice you know a few people that could benefit from home security. Do you mind if I show you this other option where you can actually get paid 50% of what I would get paid? Would you be open to that? Right? If I asked you that, Ms. Johnson, what would you say? Would you be interested in that?
Absolutely. More money.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the reason why I even pick on Ms. Johnson is because I know this actually happened with one of her homeowners, right? It happened with one of her clients, who, we got a chance to speak to, and she seen the process and she enjoyed the process and she actually became a builder as well, right? And it just goes to show how simple the process overall is, because if you treat people the right way and you focus the whole process around them and how they can benefit, it would kind of be silly for them to refer people to you and not want to take advantage of the building aspect of what we have and what we offer, right? So once again, I'll go over the 5 steps again, for those who jumped on a little later. So just 5 steps. You want to give a no pressure process. No pressure process meaning from the gate, right? So from you actually making the phone call, can't be any pressure, has to be simple and simplistic, right? So no pressure process, right? Even on the call while you're booking the appointment, you want to focus on giving value instead of making a sales transaction, right? When you speak from a standpoint of value, hey, John, this could help you save money on your electricity bill. I love explaining the solar process, right? There's a specific slide, and I call it the solar is the gift that keeps on giving. Just like water is the gift that keeps on giving. Just like home security is the gift that keeps on giving, right? All of these aspects and services that we have continue to give long after the first initial transaction takes place, right? But for instance, I talk about how, a homeowner could go solar and save $100 to today or this month, right? Per month, every month on. But next year they would be saving $110. The year after that, they would be saving $120. The year after that, it would be $130. Every year they actually have solar, they would actually save more. That's a huge benefit, right? Once again, the gift that keeps on giving. And this is why I say just adding value. That's a huge value to the homeowner, not just for today, but long term, right? So when we talk about the water, we can talk about the aspects of, once again, if it's so funny because when I had my first water consultation, just listening to it, there was so much value that I got from just that 15-minute, 20-minute conversation, right? It was so much information that I did not know about clean water and the current water that I was drinking, right? And it was valuable, right? I wanted to refer that to everybody, right? Because it only made sense, and I did. Literally gave 5 to 6 referrals on the spot. And my point is that if you give value, per people, the client will know, understand, and want to give value back to you. This is where the referrals come into play, right? So step number 3, consult, don't sell. Kind of in alignment with 2. And number 4 is after the consultation, ask for referrals, right? Ask. If it's a good consultation, the homeowner will appreciate it. They'll understand the value that was just given, and to be honest, they should not have a problem with giving referrals if there was true value that was given, right? So you ask for referrals, whether get, however you get your referrals, you just want to ask for them and you want to get them. The referrals that you get, you can now use as leverage, right? If someone gives, let's say 3 to 4 or 5 referrals, now you have these referrals and you can use them as leverage. You can say, hey, thank you, Kathy, I'll answer the question in a second, but thank you, Kathy, for giving me 5 referrals. I appreciate it. Kathy, let me ask you, you can make what, $500 to $1,000 on these referrals, but if I could show you a way where we can split the deal in half and you can actually make a little bit more on each of these transactions, would you be open to that?
Mm,
Of course, right? Who wouldn't be, right? And the reality is now you have another person who you just exposed to the product or the service that you can now transfer over to a business opportunity, right? A one-on-one, a two-on-one, which is senior business partner, right? And now you can actually send them a video, right? And now you can actually expose them to the business and literally kill, well, not, I don't want to say kill one bird, but you guys know what I mean, right? You can help them, you can benefit on both sides of the fence, right? So yes, yes, Kathy.
okay. I apologize for getting on late, but I was using a different link and couldn't get on. But anyway, thank
Oh,
you,
good, oh, good.
Sabrina. But I was listening. I wrote down the steps. Number 1 was no pressure. I missed 2. I have 3, consult, don't sell. 4, after the consultation, ask for referral. What was number 2? I know you were probably saying, and I just didn't write it down.
Yeah, no, no, no problem. Focus on giving value instead of making
Okay.
a sale.
Okay.
Focus on giving a value instead of making a sale. And once again, this starts in the process of the phone call that you make.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some people make phone calls and they sound, kind of, you know, desperate when they either are on the phone, booking the appointment, or they book the appointment and then right after they're like, I got one, right? I
Mm-hmm.
got one. I got it. Like I did it. Like sounds like, that sounds like, you know, once again, the goal is to give value, not to, get one. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just my way of thinking it. But yeah, number 4 was ask for referrals. And then number 5 is using those referrals as leverage to now show them the business, right? So this is obviously this is a way that you can obviously prospect for the service and the product that you have and focus on the most, or any product, I should say, any product and service. But in addition to that, literally turning, one prospect into a prospect for not only the service that you sell, but also one that you for the business as well. Any other thoughts, questions at all from anyone? No, no, no. All right, all right. Any other questions, thoughts at all from anyone? All right, all right, all right. Hopefully that was valuable. Pretty short, straight to the point. Like I said, I know this has happened with me. I have a few they're builders, but once again, they're focused on really the referral side of the business. They're not necessarily builders, and that's okay, right? The reality is that that's how our business model was built. All right, everyone's not going to be looking into building the business, and that's okay. That's okay. Some people will be, but you want to take advantage of the opportunities that we have available, and also be able to give people opportunities as well, right? But it only makes sense when you can give those opportunities to people who have business for you, and that business is in referrals, right? So if people are going to give you referrals anyway, then it only makes sense for you to talk about and at least share your business with them. Now, they may not choose to be a business partner with you, and that's 100% okay. You can still take the referrals, and it's still a win-win situation at the end of the day, right? Take it big, take it small, take it all. Absolutely. I like that. Take it big, take it small, take it all. Absolutely. Take whatever comes your way, right? Don't leave things on the table. But yeah, with that, like I said, any other questions, thoughts, or concerns at all? Any other comments anyone have? Appreciate you guys jumping on.
Hey, Idris, I like the fact that you brought up giving monetary incentive for referrals because, like you said, $10 for each referral. If you spend $50, you're going to make that back, even if you make one sale out of the referrals that you receive, and then it's tax deductible because we're in a business. So yeah, thanks for that. Great
Absolutely.
idea.
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. Once again, if you're already dealing with people, family, friends, and if it's in your budget and if it makes sense, then yeah, right. The $10 is just a way to incentivize them giving you the referral today, right? Instead of sitting on it, instead of thinking about it, let me give you guys an example, right? Had a consultation. This was maybe about a week or two ago. Sat with a lady. She was a referral of another client of mine. We went through the information. Everything was good. She failed credit, but I told her, no problem. You failed credit. Okay, you can't move forward right now. No problem. However, who do you know that could benefit? And she said, I have a few people in mind. And I told her, hey, well, okay, well, I'll give you $10 per referral. So she said, oh, okay, I think I know somebody. And she gave me one name, right? And then that one name turned into 11, right? So she wrote 11 names down, right? Or she told me 11 names and I wrote them down. And then after the call, I had to give her, $111. Now, is that a big deal for me? No. What I got out of that is I got a chance to obviously get 11 referrals. If one of those deals close, then it's good. I'm already in a mix with three of them, right? So that's a good situation. But also the person who referred that lady to me, which was her brother, I'm now in talks with talking about the business with him, right? So my point is that, there's opportunities and everything all around us. I forget who said it. I think maybe it was a call earlier, but they were saying that your warm market or your prospect list is literally all around you, right? It's even the people who you're on the phone with, right? It's the people who you're speaking to about, once again, Ripple or, water filtration or solar. Like they're all clients that you can kind of like mix and match to, offer value and products and services, but then also possibly recruit these people into your business. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of opportunity there for everybody. Absolutely. Appreciate that. So any other thoughts, questions before we jump off for today? All right. Perfect. Well, once again, hopefully, Miss Wen, were you about to say something?
Yeah, so when you're talking about the consultation process in terms of education,
Mhm.
um, you cite an example of having someone, can you cite an example of how that works in terms of the consultation process so that they will not get things twisted, you know?
Yeah, no, so that's a great question. I'm glad you asked because that's actually where I want to elaborate the most, right? And I think you guys have all seen me do a consultation. My consultation is really focused on the homeowner understanding how solar, specifically as I'm a mentor of, how solar works and how they can benefit, but also how they understand how solar works, right? So it's just literally explaining it, right? If you explain it, you take all of the sales tactics out, right? You take all of the pressure out, all right? You take all of the unnecessariness of why most people don't move forward because they feel pressurized. Or it's like the person speaking fast, they're trying to get over on me, they're only telling me a little bit. If you take all of that stuff out and literally just give value and value for this homeowner, then it's a full consultation educational process, right? And it's not a sales pitch. Like it's an IQ test. Once again, I refer back to when I first heard the information about the water filtration. It wasn't, did this make sense? It made a lot of sense, right? Once again, I just didn't hear it. I've never heard it that way, right? So I was educated on how water filtration works. And obviously, then it makes sense for me to take advantage of it, right? If you hear how the ripple system works, right, then you'll see. It's funny. I seen, and just as a little side note, but I seen, and they talked about this when they explained Ripple as well. But Ripple puts military grade force around your house so someone can get in. So this was in Brooklyn on the news recently, that someone broke in through the roof, right? And of a business. I believe it was a bodega, right? So they broke in through the roof. Now there's no security systems currently, like ADT and Brinks. Those don't have security systems that secure your roof, right? So the burglar was able to get in and get everything he wanted and then get out. Now, guess what? This is a selling point per se when we now talk about Ripple. Just being educated on that one thing could help so many homeowners all over the country, all over the world, to be honest, right? And that's just one aspect of the service that I just mentioned. But there's so many more that a homeowner could be educated on. And here's the reality, and this is my approach, and I'm glad I'm speaking about it. With a service like Ripple, we're able to actually now talk to homeowners already with home security services, right? Because we know what we have and what we do does more than what they currently have, right? It's just a reality, right? So, once again, it's just an educational session. And obviously there'll be mentors and things. Let me not go too deep into it because I don't know too much. I'm still learning like everybody else, but I do know that one thing, and that was huge. But yeah, on the consultation, you definitely just want to educate to the best of your ability, and give so much value that the homeowner kind of feels like they just need to give back to you, and they just feel need to just take advantage of the service and product that you have because it just makes so much sense. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, it does.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Yes.
so a lot of y'all know, man, I'm a salesman for Honeywell, so we do a lot of technical sales, right?
Hmm.
So we have this saying, right? It's a good point that you bring up because we have this saying, you the customer might not know, but you sure gonna know that I know, right? By the time I'm finished this conversation.
Hmm.
So it's about gaining confidence in the customer through speaking with him, right? He has to have confidence in you, A, that A, they trust you, and B, they have to have confidence that y'all can actually do the job that you're
Hmm.
saying that we're gonna do, right? So, I mean, I know Miss Bean and Mr. Bean, they make a lot of fun of when we're together about like I'm this engineer that's got to go know every detail. I don't need to know every detail to go sell it, but
Mhm.
I need to know every detail to go market it.
Mhm.
So for me, while I'm selling it, I'm trying to become a better marketer of that product. That's why I had that conversation. That's why I love talking to you and going through that process with you on solar, man. It was magnificent. I learned so much about it. It was like, so I can go talk to anybody about solar right now and have all the confidence in the world that I'm talking the right stuff, right? And same thing with water. I had a consultation with Mr. Ovey, and I'm gonna tell you what, that man educated me on, I can't even tell you how much, but always being in a learning mode. And it's not to puke on the customer, it's just to let the customer answer his questions with the less words possible, really.
Mhm.
And be very efficient when you do it because people recognize that and they go, man, that's the guy I want to do business with right there. That guy knows his stuff, you know, and there's something to be said for that. And it's exactly what you're talking about right here with, you know, the consultation and all. Look, man, when people leave your consultation, I guarantee you, man, they know you know what you're talking about. Cause my cousin, man, he, you know, when you did that consultation with him, look, that guy worked in nuclear power plants, man. He pecked you to death with questions, and you was right there with him, man. He couldn't shake you, bro. It was just he couldn't say he was trying to though, but he couldn't do it. So he had, you know, even after he had such confidence in you, he'd all every time I talk to him now, man, he tells me that. You know, I mean, he's like, yeah, man, that Idris, man, he knew what he was doing. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's the kind of people we work with. You know,
Absolutely.
so there's a lot to be said for that, and the confidence you bring, and how you consult somebody doing this because it does. They want to follow you, right? They want to follow. They're looking at you, going, man, this guy's doing this. Man, that's awesome, man. I wonder if I could do it. So I love this is a great topic right here, and you can broaden out anybody and get leads, man. Just like you're talking about, just asking for referrals. You know, dentists always ask you referrals. Doctors always ask. A dentist won't let you out the door, man, unless you have an appointment with them. I mean, my God, you know what I'm saying? So thank you, man. I appreciate tonight's topic. It's a very cool topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Dell, for sure. And you bring up another thought real quick, as far as, when we talk about referrals, referrals is not just for the clients, right? So you can also ask for referrals. Let's say you get a client, you do the process we just talked about, you ask for referrals, and then you say, hey, are you open to the business? Whether they are or aren't, you can also ask them, do they know anybody else that might be open to the business? Right? Now you have referrals from the business aspect. Because here's the reality. If the process is simple, once again, people wouldn't mind giving referrals. Referrals usually don't get given because people don't usually ask, right? If you ask, you'll get, right? So it's always available for those who actually ask for it. And this is how you can kind of like organically grow your contact list, organically, right? It's just through doing presentations, speaking to more and more people, and then just asking for more and more referrals. I like to call it, it's like a sustainable method, right? Some of the other methods are, or some methods I can say can be draining, but asking for referrals is pretty simple. You know what I mean? Yes, Kyrie, Mr. John, what's going on, sir?
All right. First and foremost, thank you for Fantag monastic training. The subject matter is definitely strong. But it also goes right back to what you're saying for the beginning, as far as bringing value, because you're gonna more likely referrals is my strong point. So and the reason why it is because like you said, bringing value. You're consulting, you're sharing, and it gives them it's more about them having a good experience, like Mr. Boudreau was just saying, if they feel that they have a good experience with the consultation, they're more than likely willing to hand over or as many referrals, as you ask for. So that's, again, it's all about the mindset, sitting down, and we should be more so, as you said, basically planting the seeds to educate, and remove all the commission from our breath. Once we do that, we're establishing stronger relationships that can convert to clients, customers, and business partners. So yeah, I agree 100%, man. Thank you for this, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's a mindset, and once again, I know, most of us on the line that may have experienced it, but there's a mindset when it comes to this, right? You can go for the big deal, the big close, and make the big commission on one deal, right? Or you can have 100 smaller deals, right? That still pay something. And from those 100 smaller deals, there's referrals that come from all of them. Which one is more sustainable? Which one keeps you in business long term? Right? If you close one and it's a big commission, and once again, there's nothing wrong with big commissions, but the goal is once again to be in this long term, for the long run, right? So, and that comes from giving people value and not having a transactional mindset. So with that being said, once again, definitely appreciate everyone jumping on. Definitely appreciate everyone asking those great questions. As always, I hope and I pray that this was beneficial, something that we could use in the marketplace tonight, or this week. I'm joking. But yes, definitely appreciate the time from everyone. Hope everyone has a great night. As you guys know, we do have the Millionaire Mentorship Call taking place in about an hour and 20 minutes. So we want to go ahead and continue